Hi, my loves. Did you consult God? That's the question you should be asking yourself. You should be asking yourself that before you do anything in life, especially something that's very major and important. Anytime you want to enter into a relationship, anytime you want to enter into a business, anytime you want to make life changing decisions, you should ask yourself, did I consult God? Did I talk to God? Did I hear God? Did I listen to what He wanted me to do? Or did I do what I wanted to do? Am I stubborn and I don't want to look at the signs that He's showing me? Am I closing off my ear and my heart to Him to where I can't hear what He's trying to say to me? What am I doing that is causing me to block out what God wants for me? Am I actually on the right path? Am I actually seeking the right things? You must ask God these things because a lot of times we would think that they're good for us because it feels good, because it looks good, because it sounds good. So we feel like, oh, this has to be God. It all falls in place. Everything is how I want it to be. That man or that girl, she's everything, he's everything. And that job, that's everything. You know, this business idea is the greatest. It's going to change the world. This project is going to change people's minds. Like, this is going to be great. I just have this awesome idea and I got work to do. But did I consult God? Some things can be great. Some things can be wonderful. Some things can actually end up being very profitable. But at the end of the day, did you consult God? Did God say, this is the path I wanted you to go on? Did God say, this is where I wanted you to be? Did God say, this is who He wanted you to be with? Did He say that? You have to be sure of that because if you're not, you will end in destruction. Believe it or not, everything is going well now. Everything looks peaches and cream. You're so happy. You feel great. You just know everything's going to work out. But then something happens. And then you have to look back and say, shoot, did I consult God? Was God ever even in this? When I sat down and I told people, oh, this is God. God wants this for me. I know this is the path that God wants me on. And then I look back. And I have to say to myself, did I really consult God? Was this really God? Or was it my emotions? Or was it what I really wanted to do and I didn't care what anybody else had to say or what God had to say? Block everyone else out. Block your own thoughts out. What is God saying? You have to be clear. You have to know where to go from this point. You have to know if you're on the right track. You have to know if you're doing the right thing. Because everything can look great. Everything can be positive. Everything can be awesome. But at the end of the day, if it's not for God, it just doesn't even matter. It doesn't count. And God is just watching you run around, do all these things, do all these great things in His name. And He's like, no, that's not what I called you to do. That's not who I called you to be with. That's not where I wanted you to go. You did what you wanted to do. So now when things fall apart, or now when things don't go exactly the way that you want them to go, now things have to just be everywhere because God is sitting there looking like, that's not what I wanted for you. You wanted that. So now you got to do what you got to do to get out of it. And some things may end well. Some things may continue on to be great. But there's going to be a lot of work in between. Because at the end of the day, if you would have did it God's way, it would not have been as tough. So you have to remember, whenever you want to do anything, whenever you want to be with someone, whenever you want to go somewhere, you must consult God. He knows what's best for you. He knows where you should go. He knows who you should be with. He knows what you should do. He knows it all. He's just like the parent that tries to tell the child, hey, don't go there, don't do this, yes, do that, go that way, and the child doesn't want to listen because the child thinks he knows better. And the child thinks that the parent is being lame, or the child thinks that the parent doesn't want them to do anything, but that is not true. The thing is, the parent already sees where it's going. So he's trying to teach you that don't go that way because it's not going to end well. Don't go that way because you're going to have to work really, really hard, harder than what you would have to work to get there, when it could have been a little easier if you would have just did it the way that I said to do it. That's all God wants you to do. That's what you should do. That's what you should want to do. Let's put all our selfish needs and desires to the side and trust in God, because he has your best interest. He only wants the greatest for you. And I promise you, if you lean on him and trust him and open up to him, he will give you everything that your heart desires and more. So that is all for today. Goodbye, my loves.